From CGTN headquarters in Beijing, this is The Hub with Wang Guan.
Hello and welcome to The Hub. I'm Wang Guan in Beijing. We've all heard of the ping-pong diplomacy. Well, Ahmed Latheef, current foreign secretary of the Maldives, used to be an avid table tennis player back in the days. So he has a thing or two to share. He witnessed firsthand China's engagement with his country. He's now striving to promote people-to-people exchange between China and the Maldives, and table tennis plays a substantial role. With Hangzhou Asian Games just around the corner, I recently sat down with Ahmed Latheef for an exclusive interview to know what makes him tick.
In 1973, just a year after China and the Maldives established diplomatic relations, 18-year-old Ahmed Latheef and his teammates visited China ahead of the Asian, African, Latin American Table Tennis Invitational Tournament. During their stay, they trained and prepared for the tournament with Chinese athletes. They witnessed the first-hand burgeoning friendship between China and the Maldives.
I have with me two colleagues from the Maldives who were with us in 1973 on our first trip to China, to Beijing, to participate in the Asian, African, Latin American Invitational Friendship Tournament. It was the first time the Maldives team in any sport traveled abroad, and the two colleagues who are with me here are Mr. Hassan Habib, who was the captain of the team, and Mr. Hura Abdul Sattar. He is one of the key players in the team. The other players who were in the team, unfortunately, two of them have passed away. We regret that we were not able to make this trip while they were still alive. But it is an important occasion for us. It's a historic occasion because we are marking the 50th anniversary, the golden jubilee of our first trip to China. And we are extremely delighted to be back to this beautiful city and to relive the memories from our previous visit. Our visit to China in terms of promoting table tennis was a big step because it was only after our visit to China that we saw and we learned how to play table tennis. I like to believe that the modern day table tennis was introduced by us after our return from China. So it laid the foundation of the present day table tennis in the Maldives. Since then, the government of China has helped the Maldives to promote table tennis, particularly through various programs, by sending coaches, by having our players come to China for training. 1973, China was totally different from what it is today. And we could see that the country was making great efforts to improve the quality of life of its people already. I took the opportunity to write a diary during my visit, in which I have written down everything from day one, from the moment I left Maldives till the time we went back. It was over 3 weeks, and I have recorded everything that we saw, what we did, the experiences we had during this time. And I had it published in the only newspaper in the Maldives at that time. And through this, we were able to tell the people of Maldives what China was like. But what I have seen over the years is that the people of China has remained the same. We enjoyed the best hospitality even during that time, and we continue to do that even today. So the Chinese people have always been most hospitable, and they have welcomed us even now as they have done in the 70s. During the tournament, we played with many countries. Unfortunately, we did not play with China because it was grouped into teams were grouped into different groupings, and but we played with a number of countries. And I remember the only country against whom we won was Kuwait. We lost all the other matches, but it was a big achievement for us, we believe, because it was our first time abroad, and we were very happy that we won the match against Kuwait. But what was most important was that we learnt much from this experience, and when we went back, we were able to have a huge improvement in the style of play, in how we did everything, how we promoted the sports. It became more popular also in the Maldives.
Since then, Latheef has established an enduring bond with China. In 2007, the Maldives was preparing to set up an embassy in China, and Latheef became the nation's first ambassador in the country.
I will relate a very interesting story about my experiences when I was here as ambassador some years ago. When I came here, I had the opportunity to talk to a journalist, and we talked about my former experiences as a player in 1973 and how I came to China and my ping-pong connection and everything else. And then I showed her some pictures taken during that time in 1973. We had two guides, a man and a woman, young people at that time, and I wanted to see if I could trace them, if I can find them in China. I knew China had 1.3 billion people, so I realized that it may not be very easy, but I thought I would give it a try. So what I did was I got her to publish this photo in the newspaper and write an article about me, and given the context of this lady, the reporter, to see if I can find the people in the picture. And surprisingly, after a few days, I get a call from her to say that she has found one of the guides who were attached to us during that time. And then she lived in Shanghai, and she came to Beijing. She wanted to meet me, and we met after 35 years. And I found this very interesting because I didn't think that it would be possible. It shows that, you know, if there is a way of, you know, if it is the fate, that it will happen. So we were very happy to reunite again, to talk about the old times, and so this was a very interesting experience I had after I came to China. We have had a very close connection with China through table tennis. When I was ambassador here, I did a lot to promote friendship and people-to-people contact through table tennis. For 4 years, between 2008 and 2012, every year from our embassy we organized a diplomats table tennis tournament. And through this we were able to bring the peoples of different countries together, make more friends. I also had the opportunity to work for our table tennis association in the Maldives, and during which time again we had a lot of exchanges. Our players, we sent them to China. We had Chinese players come to Maldives. China is assisting us to develop table tennis. Just last month, we had a memorandum of understanding signed between Yunnan province and our table tennis association to develop table tennis in the Maldives. As we speak, we have some coaches in Hangzhou who are training they're going through a development program in China, in Hangzhou. And also our young players, they have left for training this morning to Kunming.
With the Hangzhou Asian Games around the corner, this seasoned athlete who competed at the Beijing Asian Games in 1990 has something to say.
Asian Games is one sporting event, regional sporting event that we always pay particular attention, and we have the largest number of athletes. We have always had this participation at a very high level in the Asian Games. So we are very much looking forward to that. But as you know, the Asian Games, when it comes to table tennis, is very challenging, because if you compare Asia with the rest of the world, Asia is stronger, and so Asian Games becomes as strong as World Championships. So for us to compete, it's difficult. But we always enjoy the experience, and we look forward to our participation in that.
As the first and longest-serving ambassador to China, Latheef envisions a future of robust economic collaboration, vibrant people-to-people exchanges, and enduring friendship between China and the Maldives.
Yes, I was privileged to be the first ambassador. It was very special for me, and I also had the pleasure of serving here for the longest time, 5 years, and it was during very exciting times. You had the Olympics, you had the 60th anniversary of your country, you also had the Shanghai Expo, you had the Asian Games in Guangzhou. So a lot of things had happened during that time. And also because of the relationship that we have with China, we have a very strong relationship. China is an important development partner for us. China has assisted us in a number of important infrastructure projects, including human resource development, training. We had a lot of medical doctors here, a lot of important projects in the Maldives, including in the area of housing. The China-Maldives Friendship Bridge remains a key symbol of our close relationship. We are very, very happy with our relationship, and President Xi Jinping and our President and our foreign ministers, they are all very keen to bring forward and to further strengthen and raise our relationship to new heights. So we are very optimistic that the future of our cooperation is very bright.